Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to take and dress, or how to properly dress, your Swage blocks that you buy from Uncle Buck's Forge, or basically any Swage block that you may have. Now I purchased this Swage block from Uncle Buck's Forge last year at Quad State. If you don't know what that is, that's Southern Ohio Forge and Anvil. They have an annual Blacksmith gathering, and they got a really great tool sales area, whatever you would call it, tailgate sales, I think is the way you would call it. And I basically purchased this from Uncle Buck's Forge. I'll put a link in the description to his Etsy page. He does sell on Etsy. Some items he only sells at Quad State, and other ones he can ship to you, no matter where you're at there in the United States. I don't know if he does any international shipping. If he sees this video, I'll let him know when it goes live. If he does do anything, I will pin his comment to the top of the comments, and you guys can go from there. Again, not a sponsor of this video. I just took and purchased this with my own money, as I've been looking for a Swage block reasonably priced for a great number of years along this size, to be able to punch drift holes through the sides, things like that. So the main principle that you want to take and do when you're using this, I suggest only using a flat disc and not using a coarse stone disc. If you use a coarse stone disc to it, you might take off too much material. So use a 60 grit flat disc on a 4-inch angle grinder, and basically what we want to establish is an 1/8 inch radius, or 3.5 mil, or might as well say 4 mil equivalent radius for you guys across the pond. That is a decent radius for most work. Now, you may prefer having the edges knocked off even further, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just grind it to suit your work. What I have found to be the most handiest, though, is with that 1/8 inch radius. A lot of the ironwork that I do requires sharp corners in my work after it's all said and done, and so to be able to forge those in with the block and maintain those things with the block is a real handy treat to me. So I don't go past an 1/8 inch radius. I would definitely consider 3/8 of an inch radius would be too much, or roughly 10 mil would be too much radius in my opinion. So after you get all the big depressions down, I'm using a little die grinder here. It's kind of like one of them long neck die grinders, and I'm using a little burr bit on the end of it. By the way, I will put a link in the description. That'll be an Amazon affiliate link in the description down below. The way an affiliate link works is if I direct traffic to a site like Amazon, or to somewhere where they've got orders like this, and you decide to purchase through that link, I get a small commission at no additional cost to you. So that's a great way of supporting this channel and what we do here at Christ-Centered Ironworks. But yeah, these little burr bits, man, they really do the trick. Been super impressed with this manufacturer of these burr bits. Again, the information to the burrs will be in the description down below, along with the tools I've been using, little grinders. Now the grinder I'm using is from Chicago Electric, and it's just, a standard Harbor Freight tool here in America. So nothing too spectacular there. Again, with these, you want to take and establish a nice little 1/8 inch chamfer on all of the Swages. The reason for this is we do not want to have any sort of galling. But as you can see, I'm using that burr bit, and I'm just working it back and forth, being very careful with the cutting action of it, and we're trying to create this nice smooth radius. If you don't put a radius on it and you leave your blocks sharp, really sharp, you'll end up having a bunch of little galling or small little steps in your work that you may see, and those could take and propagate into stress fractures later on in the forging process. So definitely a no-no in that department. So you want to be careful. I do suggest being able to do this up on a table. It really sucks if this is down lower. I started on a much lower table when I started grinding on this, and after an hour or so of messing around with this, it was no bueno, no good whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, this is basically the whole deal. Once you get all those done, we are just establishing an 1/8 inch radius all the way around on all the holes. Now, once this is done on this side, I have the whole other side of this thing to do as well. So this does take quite a bit of time. Also, with the nature of the beast here, of it being flame cut out, these blocks, they will have a bit of a rippling effect on the edges of the steel block. So the edge faces of the steel block, you may have to clean those up as well, grind those up. So that's the flat faces that are facing you right now in the video. Those will have to be cleaned up as well, and the internal portions of the round and square holes that go through the block, you want to make sure that you take and grind those fairly smooth. Now, they don't have to be super smooth. They're not really going to affect that much, as most of the forging operation or sizing operation you may be doing for a tenon or something is going to be happening on the surface planes. So you don't have to get too carried away, as some of it that will take care of itself with some forging and some gentle love and care. So that's it for today. That's how you do a block like that. I hope it was somewhat informative. If you have any questions for me on this, just go ahead and drop them in the comment section down below, and I'll see if I can help you out. As always, God bless you, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.